It's time for a vacation, and Fairway Travels is here to share great specials for you to choose from. Discover the charm and features of one of Sandal's 16 all-inclusive, luxury-included, adults-only resorts, or a family-friendly beaches destination in the Caribbean. Or how about a couples resort in Jamaica? If cruising's your preference, get Thunderstroke aboard Carnival Cruise Lines or set sail on an award-winning Royal Caribbean ship. Join Virgin Voyages now for a wonderful adults-only sailing. It doesn't matter if you choose to travel by plane, train, automobile, cruise ship, or rowboat, we can help you reach your dream destination. Contact Fairway Travels today at 228-365-1012. That's 228-365-1012. Or email bookitnow247@gmail.com. Fairway Travels, where your journeys keep satisfying.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Welcome to the Motivated Mindset with your host, me, Jose Flores, and we are going to go into the why behind what we do in life. Have you ever wondered what truly drives people? I know I do. What fuels their purpose and motivation? In this podcast, we're going to explore those profound questions, uncovering the stories and insights that shape our journeys. Join me as we navigate in the depths of human ambition and uncover the secrets to living a fulfilled life, purpose, and driven. Let's get motivated. Thank you. ¿Qué pasa, mi gente? Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the Motivated Mindset with me, your host, Jose Flores, the station, MBR, the station that gives veterans a voice. So let me tell you, family, listen up. It's today's episode is not just special. It's going to be powerful. It's personal. It's going to light a fire under your soul. And I've had the honor of meeting this young lady many years ago at this place, this thing called Common Ground on the Hill. It's awesome. And she definitely is going to talk more about it. And it's really, she's always inspired me from day one when I met her. I mean, she's always been full of energy. Her spirit, her resilience is really unmatched. I have never seen somebody just have so much energy and love, you know. And, you know, as you know, like the flyer, she was born in Russia, adopted at 5.5 months old, born with no legs. But don't get it twisted, man. She's never let that slow her down. It's been stupendous, I tell you. Now, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. How you doing? You talking to me? All right, then. And from day one, when I met her, it's been an amazing experience watching her throughout the years. Even my kids, Jose and Sydney, grew up with her at Common Ground. And it's been really, really good. And all the things that you're going to hear about how she's just an amazing human being. But you know, right? She's a fierce mom to her mini me, thriving in love and still making people laugh with the same fearless humor. She used to conquer bullying growing up, you know, and this woman is living proof that you can turn pain into power. I mean, think about it. She had her daughter in mid-flight, you know, on her way to Singapore. And if that's not the definition of unstoppable, I don't know what is, you know. So we're going to get into this. And please, as we go through this, you can ask questions, please, because it's an interactive process. So ask questions, she'll answer them, and we're going to make this happen, Captain. So without further ado, give me a moment.
The interview of the week is brought to you by Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
All right, and here we are. What's up, Xenia? How you doing, girl?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I got to take my hat off to you. If I had hair, it'd be like flowing like back in the day, but I ain't got no hair. So, you know, it's okay. It's cool. So, how are you, first of all? How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm doing pretty good for the most part.
Okay. So all the people want to tell us who you are. Well, we can start with the obvious. You were adopted, and we want to hear this story. So the floor is yours, or in this case, the internet.
Yes, I'm Ksenia. A lot of people in my town here in Sassoon or
Mhm.
Fairfield were, and even on my social medias, they know me as the nickname that I have, Legs. It's just,
Mhm.
it fits me. It was from my daughter's uncle, and a lot of people have a hard time saying my name. So when
Mhm.
they ask if there's a nickname that they can call me, I go, just call me that. And a lot of people will do it, and a lot of people won't. And the ones that don't, they're my favorite people because I end up getting them to like want to have, like, I push them to call me Legs, and it's a fun. That's how I become friends with all these people, and how I make it memorable, and how
Mhm.
I've become really close friends with people. Yes, I was adopted in Russia. I was born there, and I just recently, like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, got all the information from my mom when I was in the orphanage, and the backstory about everything. This is something that I've been really waiting for since she kicked me out back in 2019, ended 2018, maybe, I want to say, around that time. It's been about 7 years.
Okay.
Um and so I've I finally got to have all the information about my past, and it was the missing. And I kept saying for the longest time to my best friends and numerous people that I needed this stuff because it was my missing puzzle piece, and I didn't understand who I was and why I had some of the, like, abandonment issues that I have, and I
Mhm.
still have them, but I understand them now because I got the missing piece of my puzzle. And my birth mom had given me up at birth when I was literally right after birth. I stayed in the hospital that I she gave birth to me in for over a year, and I
Mhm.
went to the orphanage that I was at up until my mom adopted me or got me out of there at 5.5. And she said that I read a journal that she had written everything about, like, just everything about me. And it had said, what did it um I us- I guess you could say that I consider myself like the movie Annie
Annie. Okay.
at
Mhm.
parts. Annie the movie. I can relate to that. I used to be just like her, and this is what was written in the journal about me, that I would sit at the window of the orphanage and wait for my mom to come and get me, and that I didn't belong in this place. I just needed to be with her, and I never got that from her. So when I in the journal, it says that I was very excited when I found out that I had a mom that was coming to get me, and I was already learning how to say certain things in English. And it just kind of went from there.
That is incredible. My goodness. So I know, and I can relate a lot to loss of identity when I got out the service, but how has that shaped your life? The identity part when you didn't know who you were, and once you were becoming aware of your background.
Um, Before getting the journal, I had a real, like I said, a really hard time with people staying close to me, or like if I
Mm.
went through really dark times, a lot of people would abandon me. Relationships were not easy for me because I wanted to feel the love that I knew I it's hard to explain.
Mhm.
To feel I was missing a piece, and I still to this day have that feeling that I'm missing that. And it's always going to be, that's one of my hardest battles, is abandonment. And anybody that I say, if you come into my life, please don't just come in for a year or like a season, because it hurts me. It does.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing. It's a hard pill for me to swallow, and it hurts. So when I make friends or get into a relationship, I really hold on to those tightly. But if I feel like it's not gonna work out, or you're slowly drifting away from me, I will usually do the pulling away because I don't want to get hurt anymore.
Yeah.
It's a hard pill for me, and I tr- am not trying to show my daughter the same thing, but she's seen a lot with that with me. and she understands it. She's seen abandonment happen to me.
Yeah. And while you were growing up, I think we have maybe a talk. Were you mocked by other children or even adults? What you know?
I was growing up in elementary school, middle
Mhm.
school, mainly for sure. Elementary school was the hardest because everybody doesn't understand. You're a kid, and I was made fun of a lot, but I just still kept doing me. And back in
Mhm.
school, my sister and I, Hannah, we both held the record of like all the fitness tests that we did.
Yeah.
She and I would like go back and forth to each other, and every time she caught up to my record, I'd have to go and set another one for her to catch up to, and or she'd get one up above me, and so I always set the record. And um sixth grade we had to write a will for our, like, because we had a sixth grade graduation. And I'll
Okay.
never forget this one friend of classmate that I had all the way through elementary school, all the way through sixth grade. And I'll never forget him. His name is Michael Scott, and he in his will, one of the things that I will never forget that he wrote was, he said if there was ever a time that he couldn't use his legs anymore, he would give them to me. And that's something that stuck out with
Wow.
me for the, like, still to this day. And I always think about him and hopes that he's doing good. I still talk to his sister here and there, not all the time, but we'll randomly pop up on each
Mhm.
other's social media and say hi and just check in. But yeah, he was one of the people that really held a special spot in my heart because of the fact that he said something like that. Nobody's ever said anything like that to me as a
That
child growing up in sixth
wow.
grade.
Six, that is deep. I thought that at 17 writing a will when I was in army was something else, but at that age, that is oh my goodness. Wow. That's deep. And I know, and we'll get more into your daughter, but her watching you and especially what you've been through, and that's must have given her some resilience to see it. Or if she asks you questions, Mom, what was it like? You know, how was that? And how did you respond to
She,
her?
you know, luckily she doesn't ask.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think she, as I said, she's my mini me, and
Mhm.
to the T.
Yeah.
She grew up looking like her dad, but as she got older, and I kept saying it. That girl is going to be so much like me. She's going to grow up and literally from just the only thing she doesn't care about are boys, and she's a teenager
Gotcha.
now, and I'm thankful for it because
I know
I
you
at
are.
her
I
age.
was about to ask you that. I was
At
about to
her
ask you
age, I was the one that was all about the boys and
that.
care
Right,
and
right.
wanted to flirt and everything, but she's not that at all.
Okay.
And but she she sees so much, and I think because of what she's seen and how she sees how I handle it, she handles it the same way. But I've also taught her, you have a voice.
Yes.
Never be afraid to speak your mind. Never be afraid of anything. Yeah, somebody may not like what you have to say, but at the end of the day, if you hide what you have to say and how you feel, you're never going to be able to suc not succeed, but you're never going to know the unknown if you don't speak up.
Right, you're absolutely. And you and I know, especially growing up, that some of those when people mock you, it stays with us, even as
It
adults.
does. It
You
does.
know.
It really does. And that's how I learned how to everything that I've went through, the making fun of me, I learned how to just turn it around and make jokes out
Mhm.
of it. And like working at the dispensary that I used to work at, everybody there just, I was the glue to that place. And
Mhm.
if I wasn't there, it was dead in there. And they're always so happy when I was coming in. It was lively in there. I always made jokes. I always would sit there and just make people laugh. And I've touched many lives just because of
Mhm.
the fact that I had made so many jokes throughout of what I've learned.
Yes, no, I could imagine that has to be quite an experience. And I'll never forget the first time that I saw you, and because you remember my son Jose, of course, right? and we
Of
went to the
course, I
theater.
forget.
You know where he's at now, right?
He's in Hawaii, right?
Yeah, living the life of, and
I know
I'll be
he is.
seeing
I
him.
can see.
And I'll never forget the one time we went to the theater and you move faster with your arms than most people can
Yep.
run.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, your muscle. We're gonna be talking about your muscles and all that. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to show the people. But yeah, but the first time I met you and your whole family was just an amazing. Like I said in the beginning, you've always inspired me with everything you do and keeping that attitude. And we're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk about the documentary that was made about your family and give us some insight on that. How that sound? Sounds good.
Sounds
So
good.
we're gonna take a pause for the cause. I feel like I should be on ABC. How you doing? No hair. Okay, here we go.
It's the guts and it's the glory. 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's them handwritten letters from home. It's them sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's a line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Hey. From the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana to the golden coast of California, Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop, and his 18th birthday was the day he was born. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's the light. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on the front line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, pay the ultimate price. Oh. He was the man of the house when he was born. His family is proud but torn. But if you knew him, you would understand. He was raised on how to be brave, just to see the flag still wave. And then he came home with only one hand. 'Cause Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down here to lie. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on these front lines. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, he'll pay the ultimate price. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down his life. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. March in line, march in line. Hey. Hey.
Welcome back. Every time I hear that song, it just like gives me goosebumps.
I was just
But hey,
I was listening to that song. I was like, that's a really good song.
it freaking rocks. How you doing? Oh my God! Thank you, mi gente. Hey, well, hey, welcome back to MBR, the station that gives veterans la voz. mi gente, my people. Look, I'm gonna throw some diversity up in there since we're here because I'm from New York and I got Xenia, the WOMAN. That means woman. Okay, all right, let me get off here. So hey, so when we left off, we talked a little bit about where Xenia was from, born, and some of the struggles and so on. So we're gonna talk about the documentary, and I'll bring that up, and you can talk about what that is, Xenia, while I bring that little picture up and how and just let us know how that happened, how that came about, please.
All right.
Let me see. I'm gonna bring this up. Yep. Here we go. That's it. All right. Floor's all yours.
Well, the documentary started, well, before it actually started, growing up, just being it with the family that I had, we've always somewhat been in the spotlight, in the news, in the newspaper. And one of the big, my mom was on the Rosie O'Donnell show once. That was right before, and then we went on a TV show called Evening Magazine here in San Francisco.
Okay.
That's where it was based out of. And that's where we met Jonathan Karsh, who was one of the TV hosts for that show. When we met him, we were at the Trapeze Art School, and that's where they did this story. They did it for Mother's Day, and she was like, they called her like Mother of the Year, and my mom, the Mother of the Year, and everything like that. Jonathan was very intrigued by our family, and my mom did let him know that we were getting ready to go on our first summer road trip ever. And he asked if he could film it, and my mom really thought it was just like it would never happen. And so she says, well, I think she gave him like a week or something like that, and says, well, you have a week to get a film crew and everything ready, because we're leaving at this time and we're gonna go. And she
Right.
really didn't, and I remember her saying, oh, he's not gonna do it, it's not gonna happen. We were calling his bluff, basically. She was. The day, come to find out, the day that we left, he pulled up in front of our house with a whole film crew, and they followed us for the, at first it was just supposed to be filmed of just the summer, our summer road trip, everything that we did. And there were a lot of fun little moments in that, in behind the scenes. Like, he taught us all, he was teaching my brother Joe how to shave, and he got us all little wooden shavers, and we all had the shaving cream on it, and acting like we were shaving. So we had some fun moments with that. Then he wanted more. Jonathan
Mhm.
wanted more. He only followed us for a summer, and so he ended up following us and filming us for a year and a half.
Wow.
And that- yeah, he followed us. So he followed us through right when I first started seventh grade, when my brother Anthony was in high school, when all of it, it doesn't, it shows all of us, but it really as you saw, there was a lot of me in there.
Mhm.
There was a lot of, um, my mom, Margaret, my sister Margaret, my brother Joe, the one that's at the top of the picture, and
Mhm.
my brother Anthony. She does talk about all of us, and you do see little bits and parts of it, but of all of us. But I don't think that I could sit there and say I was, out of all my siblings, I was like my brother Anthony. We both were just like the goofy people. We wanted to be in the spotlight. We wanted to. We were the one. We wanted to be the ones that shined, and we just, that was my partner in crime, no matter what. But so the movie filmed for a year and a half, and then it
Wow. Yeah.
ended up coming out. It went to the Sundance Movie Festival, and we got numerous awards. HBO ended up buying it, and so it was played all over the world. It played every year for Mother's Day, every year. Then it came out on DVD, and people still, it's on YouTube.
Mhm.
If you don't have Amazon, it's also on YouTube. Um, and still to this day, I still get messages and people finding me on Facebook and just saying, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe that you're that girl from there. You've grown up so much. You've this, you've that." But you also got to watch a lot of really hard times in that
Yes.
movie. Some
Yes.
really tough times. And it, it, it I'm thankful for the movie.
Okay. All right.
I am. I'm definitely thankful for it.
Yeah, and I'm sure you now. Would you guys able to go to the award ceremony for the awards they won when they won the what you call that?
No,
Ah,
just Jonathan did that because it was at the movie festival. I think it was in Utah.
yeah,
I
something
can't
like that.
remember where it was exactly at, but he got all of the awards and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, definitely, it's on
But
Amazon. Like Xenia said, you can check it on YouTube. I got to watch of it, so you've got to see it, and it's really.
you will cry.
It's
You will cry.
yes, yes. Have your tissues. You will. You will. It was just an amazing documentary, because it talks about real life and some of the struggles that we as humans face. So yeah, no, I really enjoyed watching it. I always recommend it to people. So yeah, that's something else. Now, since then, has anybody from the production team or you keep in touch with any of the people?
I
Uh,
I still do. I actually do.
okay.
Jonathan, I still keep in touch with still to this day. I don't know if we're gonna still do it. Not all my family wants to be involved, but I
Mhm.
have been thinking that it was time, and he's on the same page with me. We both
Okay.
want to do an update on the
Okay.
family, but I don't think everybody's really going to do it. A lot of
Gotcha.
us don't speak to each other anymore. I'm one of those
Hmm.
that pretty much doesn't speak to majority of my family anymore, and it's for my decisions, and I'm happy with them, and I don't. It's more so I needed more my peace more than trying to keep having being around the toxicity that I went through with them in the last since I was kicked out. But I did just recently, maybe back in March, I want to say
Hmm.
March or April. I want to say March. We both just did like a little update on me and what I've been through and what kind of like this, but it was more of an update. He did
Hmm.
speak to one of my sisters, Faith.
Faith.
We did try to see if any of my other sisters. We wanted to see if any of my other sisters wanted to do it. They said no, and so which I understood because they're all going through their stuff in their life, and
Hmm.
a lot of them are probably a lot of them didn't care for the spotlight. Not saying that I like the spotlight, but a lot of them didn't really care for the the famousness of it. I guess you could say they
Yeah.
wanted to live
Yeah.
like a normal life. Not saying that I live a pretty normal life, but I also am somebody who likes to inspire, likes to be able to talk about the movie, likes to get to know
Mhm.
people. That's just who I am.
Yeah.
So
And people do
we
need to
don't
hear that.
we're
Absolutely. Yes.
agreed. I agree. So
Yeah.
it's an experience that I definitely will never forget.
That is
And
true.
Zoe watches it still to this day with me.
Really?
She does
Oh,
watch it. She'll watch it because I actually watch it twice a year.
okay.
And that's because of my brother Anthony, who in the movie, he was the one. If anybody has watched it, he's got the funny sense of humor. He was born with the
Hmm.
skin disease, EB. That's the short form term for it. Epidermolysis bullosa is the real name for it. But again, he was my closest sibling. I was heartbroken when he passed away, but
Yeah.
um he taught me how to have like the thick skin, the jokes. He also taught me how to become a funny human being, but
Hmm.
I watch it because of him. When he passed away, that's my only way to hear his voice and know that he's still here. So I will watch it on his birthday, and I will watch it on the day he passed away.
Yeah.
Those are like just the 2 days that I still watch the movie to this day. And Zoe will sit there, and that's how I've been able to keep my family members' names alive, like
Yeah.
Joe and my sister Susie and Anthony. She knows all of them. She knows everything about them. She knows their story. And it's a good way for her to watch like how I grew up in some ways. And in the movie, there's a part where I'm doing pageantry with the flag, and my daughter has now followed in my footsteps and is doing that in middle school as well. So
That's beautiful.
there's things that that movie, it was a good thing, and I'm glad
Yeah.
that we did it.
No, that's beautiful. If you get the opportunity, please watch it. Not like she said, it's really 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 good documentary to watch. And since we're talking about family, I know that's a pretty hard picture to see. I know we talked about that earlier, but that's just now. Is that the makeover thing, Majig, or is that a different house?
Yes, yes. So
Okay.
yes, no. So this is so after the movie was made, that was made. It came out in 2001.
Hmm.
And then my brother Anthony passed away on December 22nd, 2004. And then literally July 31st
Hmm.
is the day we found out that we were getting Extreme Makeover Home Edition. We
Can
went
you
on the
tell us about that?
vacation. We came. That was that day itself. That whole experience itself was something that I definitely will never forget, and that was where I had to learn. That experience was how I learned who were my true friends and who were not,
Got you.
because a
Now,
lot
why
of
you
people
say
wanted
that?
to just be
What?
friends with me because
Uh-huh.
because a lot of people wanted, they noticed that, okay, well, that's a big show that's very national, international. A lot of people have seen that show. You've gotten to be around celebrities now, and I want to be able to get into that house and see what that house is like. And so I learned how to really see who was a true genuine friend to me, rather than, are you just here for me, or are you here because I have something, like you think I'm made of
Right.
money, when we were still normal, everyday human beings. The only thing that was different was our family was blessed in 2005 to get this. Other
Hmm.
than that, we were still a normal family with issues and, puberty and all of that, like the normal everyday life. So that's where, but that experience, we ended up going to Disney World. We went to Disney World, and I will admit that when we were filming all of this, and the first time they told us that we were going to Disneyland, we all went, "Oh!" It wasn't excitement, because a lot of us, especially
Yeah.
especially Hannah and I, we can't get on a lot of those rides just
Right.
because of our
Right.
disability, being born without legs. And so I think we had to redo that scene like five times, because we were just not excited for it.
Right. Right.
We were, but we weren't.
Got
Just,
you.
but we ended up having a great time. We ended up having a great time in at Disney World. We went to a lot. I Basically, they just let us ride at our own risk, and we knew what rides we wanted to ride and what rides we couldn't ride, and so we were smart about it. But they also gave like a shopping spree to Hannah, all of us, but especially to Hannah, Libby, and I, just because we couldn't get on many rides. So
Right. Right.
when they
Right.
were doing that, we were able to shop, and but we still went to a Polynesian luau dinner once, and for what and then coming home, that whole experience that day that we got the house revealed to us. That was that was an experience I'll never forget. Preston was my favorite person out of all of the
Uh-huh.
Extreme Makeover people, like the cast. I loved Ty, but everybody loves the main. When it comes to like things like that, like bands and stuff like that, they always like the main person. Me,
Right.
I've
Right.
always been the one that likes, kind of like the behind the scene people, or like
Yeah.
the people that don't get much attention. And Preston was my favorite. He was my number one favorite. He ended up doing mine and Hannah's room, and on my side, it was him and Paul who did our room. Preston knew I was very into photography. I still am. I still
Hmm.
take like really good photos. I just do it through my phone now. But Preston did that. He went to the zoo for me and got pictures. Then he did like found somebody who did artist stuff and did Hannah's side of the room. It was a 3-story house that did get have an elevator. It still has an elevator in it. Um, and 3 floors. My sister and I had the third floor all to ourselves. Then on the second floor, it was my mom's room, Katie's room, Fate's room, Libby's room, and then Chloe's room. Everybody had their own room, and then Margaret's room was downstairs.
That
And it
had
was
to be
very
awesome.
accessible for all the wheelchairs in the house. Yeah,
That-
it was awesome.
oh my goodness. So we're gonna take one more break, and then we're gonna talk about something I like too. But we're gonna talk about the muscle stuff and all that. And I can't wait to show you a video. I know it's in your door and all that, but excitement's in the air. So we're gonna take one more break, and then we're gonna come back and make this happen, Captain. All right, here we go.
All right.
Sacred flowers, sacred mother, earth is crying for her daughters. Sacred flowers, sacred mother, earth is crying for her daughters. Where have you gone? Who took them from us? Who stole them from us? Sacred flowers. Sacred flowers, sacred mother, earth is crying for her daughters. Sacred flowers, sacred mother, earth is crying for her daughters. Blooming life on the res, bringing light to our lives. You are missing your miss. Sacred flowers.
Welcome back, everybody. That was every time I watch that. That's pretty deep. And Xenia, before we move on, I know if you wanted, when we talked earlier, something you wanted to talk about that happened to you, if you feel comfortable talking about before we move on to something else. The trauma.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
watching that video on the break, reading about what's happened to the Native American women, I can relate. Sexual assault. I've had it done to me 3 times in the span of 1 year. One person, he we were celebrating a birthday, my best friend's birthday, and there was drinking involved, and I ended up going to sleep, and I was assaulted that way. Woke up to it. Um, I did speak up. I did try to fight it in case, but the guy in the courts and stuff, but the guy ended up fleeing, and we never could find him ever again. And so they dropped the case. And
Mm,
that for me was a really hard. That was the first time I've had ever experienced depression. And that was the toughest battle. The first time I of just like experiencing depression, and how I just questioned how could this guy get away with doing this. And um it hurt me. It got to a point where I don't tell many people this. It came to a point where I was trying to, in a way, end my life. I would do anything to try to get hit by a car with just like with crossing the street. There was a point where I just didn't care. I
yeah.
didn't care because my pain couldn't go away. Nobody would listen to me. It was a hurtful. It was it's a pain that you can't ever. You can overcome it, but it's a reminder all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. What would you tell?
Um, but then I
Hmm,
started.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Um, um, as I kept trying to, in a way, end my life,
Mm,
I kept thinking of my daughter, and I kept wondering why are these cars all missing me? Why are they not hitting me? And I started to think about, well, I'm being selfish. I'm trying to take myself away from something that needs me in this life, and I need to show her that you can get overcome this. You can get stronger. But it was hard at the same time because I confided it in somebody which was her dad. I cried on his shoulder many, many times, and I told him everything that happened and how I remembered it. And what I didn't know was he ended up doing it twice to me.
wow.
And
Mm,
that is the one still that happened almost, I want to say 2022. So it's been 3 years. And
yeah.
it's been 3 years. All three of them it's been 3 years for all three of them. Um, but I never knew about the first time he did it. He thought it was the funniest thing because he did the same thing that the guy, I ended up drinking and I passed out, and I never knew that he did that. And when he asked me if I had remembered anything the night before, I said, no, I don't remember. And he thought it was the funniest thing. And the one that's the hardest one for me to swallow is he ended up doing it the night going into my daughter's birthday.
Wow.
So I found out on my daughter's birthday that same year, and it tore me apart. This was somebody who I thought was my closest friend, but somebody that I've co-parented with, somebody that we had our moments where we had our ups and downs, but this was somebody who I thought I would felt could feel safe with. And when he told me that, it it tore me apart. So I went through a period where I said, I don't want to be around you anymore. I don't want to do the family thing anymore. I don't want to do anything. I just want to co-parent. I don't want to
Yeah.
spend time with you. I don't nothing. And he's put me through a lot of hell because I was doing everything I could to remove myself,
Hmm.
step away, not want that relationship with them, not want anything to do with them except to just effectively co-parent with our child about our daughter. He didn't like it, and so he started arguments. He would purposely I tried to date at that time, and I wasn't ready, but anybody I had over at my house, he would pull up to my house and look inside their cars, like through the window, to see if it was like a male or a female or whose car it
Right.
was. He became very possessive. He started stalking me. He would show up at my house and just start arguments just to be in my presence, just to be around me. And it got to a point where I had said to him, if you do not leave me alone, it was a fair warning because I basically had let a half a year or so maybe go to where I wanted him to leave me alone. And by like February of 23, he just kept getting out of hand. It just kept getting really, really, really bad. So I finally spoke up in March. I gave him a fair warning, and he didn't want that. He didn't want to respect my wishes. I was just willing to just basically deal with the hurt and the trauma and figure out how to just move on and try to co-parent and not go through what we just recently went through. He didn't want to leave me alone, so I finally went to the police and spoke up. And I can tell you right now, that was the hardest thing I ever had to do. And
Wow.
it's because um, we were in court for a year and a half.
Wow.
We did, and still to this day, I am not happy with what the sentencing is for him
Yeah.
at all. And it just it breaks my heart. Like it, it's sad, it's hard. And so what he got was I was trying to see the comment but I couldn't see it. But
Oh wait.
well, I think somebody had comment. I don't know if somebody did, but I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
But so basically what the judge gave him was he didn't want to do prison time, so he ended up getting probation for 2 years and register as a lifetime sex offender for the rest of his life. And I do have a criminal protective order, but that doesn't mean anything to me. And what's really hard is I'm still trying to figure out how this man is still even able to have visitation and custody with our child, knowing that this happened to me while we were in his apartment and she was in her room. And when I had the police involved, it was the special victims unit, and they were at my house, and I basically had to talk to him on the phone to where he admitted to me why he did what he did. And Hannah was there with me at that time, and Zoe's uncle was on the phone with her. And when he admitted it, which was he didn't believe me on how it happened the first time, so he had to test it out. And that shattered my heart to in a million pieces. And everybody said it was like you could hear my heart shatter.
Wow.
So it's still to this day, I've blocked out. I mean, I'll always remember it, but on when it comes to Zoe's birthday, I always um I try to not think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then right after it, like a week or two after her birthday, I go through my PTSD. And yesterday, and I'm still feeling the pain. Yesterday was a really hard day for me. And like I said, it's been 3 years since it happened, but what people don't understand is it is something that you'll never, and excuse me for tearing up, but
It's okay.
it is something that you're never you'll heal, but you're never fully gonna ever forget.
Yeah.
And it is, it's a hard pill because my daughter doesn't understand what's going on, and she hears such of the worst negative things that they say about me. And she'll come to me and say, Mom, well, Dad said this, you're only doing all of this because you want him in prison, and you want this, and you don't care about him, and you that all of that, and you hate him. And I said, well, I do hate your dad. I am allowed to have hate.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that, it's not an easy uh I could never forgive him for what he did.
No, it's unforgivable. I
I
understand.
can
Mm. So I have a quick. Ooh.
so
Mm. Go ahead, Xenia.
Yeah. Um, it- Yesterday, but just definitely yesterday, it comes in moments, it comes in wavelengths, and I had an okay day, and then just literally out of nowhere, I started getting flashbacks from that day that he told me and all of that. And it's not it hurts. It
Yeah.
hurts.
And Ksenia, right now, if someone right now is listening right now and feels broken or unseen, what message would you give them if something's going through what you went through?
You're not alone. You're not alone. Um, I do feel alone, but and that is normal just because you do go through a lot of backlash. You do go through a lot of hate for speaking up, and it um but I always tell people I ever since I spoke up about it and have been speaking up more about it, because I've gotten to a point where I don't care how he feels if I speak about my story. And I say, if this is something that he didn't want people to know, he should have never did it to me in the first place. Or he should have just taken it to the grave with him and me never know anything. But
Mm-hmm.
uh when I spoke up about it and told the police, I what I didn't know was that he and I had like a little bit of a gut feeling about the time that I didn't know, but I didn't know if it was true, so I just kind of swept it under the rug and let it go. But once the police confirmed that he did do it, in fact, 2 times, and it was the first time that I was unsure about it, it forever changed me to where, you know, I
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
I just know that you're not alone. I am. Anybody can message me and talk to me about it. Like I said, I've had my moments where I wanted to do suicide. But this time around, I was smarter with it. I was a lot smarter with it. I'm reading the comment real quick.
okay, go ahead. Absolutely. Yeah, and
Did I find obedience in my life a challenge? I don't know.
mm, yeah, and
I don't know.
yeah, I don't know if maybe obedience, and maybe they can clarify that question more. But you know,
Maybe if we could clarify it a little more, because
yeah,
obedience, how I guess we could say.
yeah,
Um,
mm, it
I went to
for,
therapy for all of it. The first time around was the best therapy session I had. The therapist I had, I started going on. Right after that assault, I started going on a spiritual journey on the first one
mhm,
from the first one, and the therapist I met was just amazing, and he actually helped me start feeling better, helped me through a lot of my challenges that I went through, and how to cope with it and how to get rid of the negative thoughts that I had. But the second time around, when I went through it with my daughter's dad, the therapist I had, I did not like my therapist. I did not have any help with her at all. And so I ended up having to, because I didn't, and I wanted the therapist I had the first time, but he no longer was able to do it. So
mm,
he quit, and I was his last patient right after that. So I literally just went back to everything he's taught me, and I had to actually dig myself out of the depression that I went through by myself through him. And I ended up ending my therapy sessions with the lady fairly quickly because she put me down every time. Anytime I had my bad days and I just needed somebody to cry to, just to express how I felt, she what's the word, uh made it go in a different direction.
mhm, yeah,
So I got tired of trying with that lady, and I had to basically help myself out.
And I know, Ksenia, when we go through, you went through the spiritual. And first of all, thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, because that's deep. And I know sometimes also, as when we go spiritual, have you done anything physically doing something physically that's helped you out
Yes,
also?
I have. Due to that, I still deal with crazy people, a lot of homeless and everything. And so I have been dating somebody for almost a year now, and
Mhm.
he's really big into the gym and all of that. And when we both figured out that we were going to go on to the gym on the same day, and we ended up going to the same. We don't live in the same city, so he goes to his own gym, I go to my own gym, and he got me into going to the gym. He, in a way, pushed me to go to the gym and motivated me, and that has become my sanctuary. That has become the place where I let all my anger go, let all my frustration go. And that is where I've met my community of people,
Yes.
and all and I love it.
Can I show them something real quick on your
Yeah.
Instagram channel?
Yes.
Oh, okay. It kind of
Yeah.
like it says everything. Here we go. This inspires me every time. Let's see. Let's share, and here we go. Make sure it plays. Why ain't it playing now? Okay. It's amazing. Now I don't want to play, right? Okay. I know, right? It's what you call Murphy's Law. Let me do something here real quick. Okay, here we go. Now I don't want to play for whatever reason, but that's okay. Wait a minute, it's okay. See, that's what happens, but that's okay, because this is why I took some pictures, because we're having a technical difficulty, but that's okay. Let me get out of here.
Oh,
Make sure.
I would love for them to all be able to see it.
I know, but that's okay, because we're gonna. Don't worry. I always have a contingency plan in my back pocket. So here we go, people, and tell them what you're doing right there, because I'm about to share your information and what made you go with the stuff that you do in the gym.
So I've been the first time I went, the first few times, I was just getting to know the machines and everything like that. And as time started going on, I started pushing myself. And one of the things that pushed me was the bench press. I was
Mhm.
like, oh, I want to do that. I want to be able to do that. And my boyfriend was one of those who kind of would say, I don't know if you could do that. It's a little heavy. I go, don't tell me. I'm one of those people. You can't tell me I can't do anything, because I will turn around and prove you wrong. I will continue to try and try. And in the picture in the middle is of me doing the bench press. And that,
Amazing.
it got to a point where I was actually lifting. I had two 30-pound, the bar is 25 pounds itself, and then my friend and I, she used to work with me at the dispensary. She would put a 25-pound weight on each side, and then a 5-pound weight on each side. So I was pretty much doing almost like more, a little bit more than what I weigh, which I weigh 75 pounds, and
Mhm.
I was lifting more than what I weigh.
Wow.
And that was one of my challenges. My other challenge was is that I wasn't going to be able to do the pull-ups on the pull-up assist that we have in the gym. And that was where my boyfriend would say, I don't know if you can do that, because if you can't get down, what's going to happen? And
Mhm.
again, I'm one of those people, don't tell me I can't do something,
Right.
because
That's
I'm going to
right.
figure out how to do it. And I
Hmm.
ended up doing it, and I sent him the video, and he's always been my motivational like person. He has always motivated me and supported me, and I'm truly thankful that he pushed me to the gym. He still to this day will send me videos of what I should try in the gym. And I learned that I've even gotten my daughter to go in there. She'll sit there and say, Mom, can we go to the gym? Mom, can we go to the gym? Can we go do this? Can we do that? And she will do it with me. She found machines just like I did that I'm obsessed with, and she on the treadmill, I wish that the video, I have the video, but basically I was made a joke and I said, "Ooh, girl, look at them legs go. Look at those out legs." She goes, "Yeah, unlike some people that skip leg day." So she and I make jokes like like that, and I've always been stopped in the gym by numerous people. They've always told me, I motivate them, and I started posting my workout videos because I wanted people to know that you can overcome anything. But when you find something that is your light and something that motivates you to keep going. And that's literally what I found in the gym. Now I have taken like about a month off, and that was because in 2017 I had shoulder surgery, and because of just wear and tear. And so my shoulder, what we've been having some really, really windy days like last over at the beginning of this month and end of May. And it had been really hard for me to push through and against. So it kind of irritated my shoulder. So I had taken some time off and just tried to let my shoulder heal some because it was just too painful to lift anything. But now it's starting to feel a lot better. So I am going to eventually get back into the gym. I've been going, like I said, I've been kind of going through a little bit of my PTSD just from heard with what's been going on with the sexual assault. So I needed to just take some time off for myself and get my mind right and be okay. But the gym is my sanctuary. Oh no, I can't hear you. Still can't hear you. Ah, I I can't hear you. I I I can't hear you. Ah,
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.